it adds up to closely $50,000, which is truly amazing.
So long, I've been stuck in my ways, but somehow I know I'm gonna change. It makes me stronger every time I'm on my way down.
What's going on, guys, and welcome to today's video. So if you do not know, if you are new to the channel, my name is Justin Holland and I am a blind bodybuilder. So I lost my vision about 2 years ago, which there are other videos explaining kind of how all of that happened on my channel. But today we're going to be talking about my guide dog, whose name is Diesel. He might be sleeping.
No, he's awake.
We'll go. So I received Diesel. I went to New York about 3 to 4 months ago to get my guide dog, since, you know, I started going blind roughly 2 years ago, so it's all kind of a new manner. You know, walking around without vision can be very, very difficult. You're gonna have to throw it in my hand. Ow! Okay, so normally before I got my guide dog, I have my trusty white cane, as most blind people or the visually impaired community will call it. I call it my blind stick. So basically, you walk with this thing, and that is how you get around. You know, it tells you if there's a curb, which just like this, and you walk with it in front of you. But if you know, if there's cracks or if you run off the sidewalk, it jabs you in the belly button. It can be quite annoying. Me personally, I walk very slow with this thing because if I miss something on the ground, such as a hole, it's my ankles that are gonna suffer. So I very, very rarely even use this anymore ever since I got my dog Diesel. And the reason is I'm going to be talking to you guys really about how you know, the rough basic, you know, the basics of working with a guide dog, what I got to do every day, and how my life has changed ever since I have received my dog. So just a little bit of his background story. Diesel is currently 2 years old now. But the way that this Guiding Eyes for the Blind, the school that I went to, works is they have puppy raisers that raise the puppies after they breed them from 8 weeks until about 12 months, until, you know, 12 to 13 months old. And of course there's like requirements and things that they have to do, but when they are 12 to 13 months old, they come back to the school and then they go into testing to see if they are going to be capable of becoming a guide dog. Now, if they pass the test, they train to be a guide dog pretty much every day for about 6 months, and then at the end of the 6 months they are about 18 to 20 months old, and that is when we, as the blind people or the students, go up to the school and we are there for 3 weeks. And I actually have a playlist for the 3 weeks that I was up there receiving my dog. So I will link to that up here in the corner somewhere, wherever that thing little pops out. And I will also try to put a link in the description to the playlist of Guide Dog School, which was me going up to New York and getting my guide dog Diesel. So by the title of this video, though, you might be thinking, I believe it's going to be titled My $50,000 Dog. And you might be thinking I'm super crazy, or I'm super you know, crazy for thinking that, but they actually talk about this on the on the organization's website, Guiding Eyes for the Blind, and on their YouTube channel they mention this as well. And you have to think, you know, they pay for everything. They have facilities, they have so many dogs, and you know how much time goes into training each and every dog. They you know, the puppy raisers are volunteers, but they breed the dogs. They have a breeding facility. They, you know, once they come in for training, they're in training every single day. They're feeding the dogs, and then when we come up there, they're feeding us. They pay for our plane tickets and everything to go up there. It's a, you know, awesome organization, and it's non-profit, so, you know, people donating and things like that is what makes it possible. So it's truly amazing. And you know, when you add up all of the cost that goes into receiving, or I guess, you know, training a guide dog from the very, very start until I come home, I fly home with my guide dog, it adds up to closely $50,000, which is truly amazing, and it cost me $0. So I'm so thankful for the organization, and things like this are out here. So right now I'm going to be kind of talking to you guys, how does it work? So a lot of people have the misconception that this thing, you know, my Diesel right here is a super trained robot. They think that I walk out, I'm outside of my house right now, I can walk out of my house, and I live really, really close to the gym that I train at now. I'd say roughly a mile. But they think that I can, you know, come out the door and then say, Diesel, go to the gym. And that's all I gotta do, and he's gonna walk me to the gym. But that is not nowhere near the case. You know, being a blind person, one of the most important things that we have to do is know our orientation. We have to know where we're going, and we have to be able to communicate to Diesel where I gotta go. So there's restaurants, there's all kinds of things around here that I can walk to, and you know, like I said, I'm super slow walking with a cane, but with Diesel, you can, my girlfriend's behind the camera, me and Diesel leave her in the dust in the store.
Yeah, y'all do.
So, hop up, boy. Diesel, sit. So, basically, the way it works is I have a harness handle. The harness goes on him. And another misconception, with this is going to be kind of a whole nother video about people trying to pet my dog. It can be so frustrating, but I can love on him all I want. That's my job. I can, ooh, he smells really good. But I can love on him all I want, but he knows when this harness is on, it is serious work time. He's working, and that's literally what a service dog does. They work. And of course, since I'm blind and he's walking me across streets and things like that, it's very, very important for him to stay focused. And when I actually grab the handle, he really knows that it's work time. So the way a guide dog works, they work in straight lines. So if I tell him to go, you know, whichever direction, if it's forward, if it's to the left, or if it's to the right, if I tell him either way, it's either forward, left, or right, that's the way I tell him to do these commands. And basically the way it works is he's gonna walk in a straight line until I tell him to either turn or until there's an elevation change, there's a car parked in the way, the sidewalk ends, there's a hazard, whatever it may be. They're trained to stop and let me know that there's something there. And for instance, I know that there's grass down here, and he knows to stop. So Diesel, left, and then he starts walking in a straight line. Good boy, that's it, buddy. Come on, Bubba, up up. That's it, little Bobo. That's it. Come on, to the curb. And voila, Diesel knows to automatically stop at the grass, or if there's elevation change or something like that, and then we reward him with treats. Yes, good boy. Lots of praise, lots of treats, and that is basically how they work. And you know, I can tell him, you know, come here. And it's very important. That's why it's so important for me to know where I'm going to go. For instance, what we will do is, Diesel, come on, forward, come on, hop up. And here, buddy, to the curb, to the curb. And then he stops again because there's a curb right here, and I always fill out with my foot. Good boy, nice job, good job, Bobo. And then we go, come on, Boogie, forward. And I have to know when it's safe to cross the street. To the curb. Yes, nice job. And you can see if there's an up curve or if there's a change in elevations, like if this was steps, you can see that they're trained that they put both of their front paws up on the elevation. Yeah, you're so smart. And right here, I know this is grass, so rather than walking in the wet grass, I'm going to go right. Nice job, buddy. And he's gonna follow this around to the curb, forward to the curb. Yes, nice job, Bookie. And that is a command that we also, you know, that is one of the commands that they're trained with, is to the curb or door or anything like that. And that's something that they teach us, is if we want to basically teach them something new. For instance, while we was in New York, we taught them to the chair. And that is like, and you know, as for an example, if I go into anywhere that there's going to be an open chair, I can tell him, if I roughly know where it's at, I can say to the chair, and he'll run up and he'll basically put his nose right there. So we basically keep going along this path. Right. Nice job, buddy. Oh. Wait. And you know, that is basically the rough, you know, the rundown of how it is working a guide dog. They work in straight lines. They don't know where I want to go. He's always looking, he's looking towards me for me, for me to give him the commands of where I'm wanting to go. So for example, I'll follow this walkway all the way until it ends, and then I'll keep going, and then I know where I need to go to get to, whether it's a restaurant to go eat, the grocery store, my gym, and that's basically the way it works, and there's few other things, but that is the basics. If you do have any questions about me, about Diesel, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. But if you have any questions, comment down below and I would love to answer them. I figured I would kind of give you guys update on how it's been going with me and Diesel since we've been back home for about 4 months. And I know some of you have asked, how has my life changed since I have a guide dog now? How has this had an impact on my life? And it has really given me such, it's really given me such an independent feeling again, because for example, if I call someone and I ask for a ride to the gym, but they can't give me a ride to the gym, well, I can walk outside and I can walk to the gym, especially now that the cold weather's leaving and it's about to be springtime. Me and Diesel will be definitely walking to the gym, walking home from the gym, and it's super easy for me. I don't really have to worry about anything. He pays attention, and he guides me around any obstacles. He takes me from curb to curb, whereas it would take me probably I would say close to 45 minutes to walk to the gym, maybe 30 to 45 minutes with my cane or my blind stick. It takes me, I would say, about 20 minutes tops to walk to the gym with Diesel. He's so much faster, it's so much easier on me, and I also get to take my best friend everywhere I go. So it's super amazing, and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Any questions, any suggestions on video topics that you would like me to cover, such as this one, kind of going into more detail about this topic, about working with Diesel and how Diesel has really had an impact on my life, just make sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like on it, hit the like button, and if it is your first time stopping in on the channel, make sure to subscribe. And as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and keep getting stronger.